In previous videos on mapping, we focused on mapping the jobs that are scheduled for today. The selection criteria, in other words, was set to today. Now we're going to look at all the other possibilities. Clicking on the question mark will give you built-in help describing how all the other selection criteria operate. So currently we're looking at today's jobs. Let's look at tomorrow's. So we click on tomorrow and then update map. So it pulls up all the jobs that are scheduled for tomorrow. And we see down below the details laid out in the table. We can also look at today and tomorrow. We can look at the next 3 days, or we can look at the entire week. Let's do that. Click on this week, update map. Map refreshes with all the jobs that are scheduled for this week. So we can look down below and we can see the table has quite a few jobs listed, and we have them color-coded by the worker responsible for them. We can change the color coding by clicking None in the Worker Colorize box and click Update. And now everything is colored based on the day of the week. If we sort the table by when, then we'll see everything grouped according to the days of the week. So we have the Monday jobs, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so forth, all grouped together. This is a great way to help you to plan your week. For example, on a Sunday, you could pull up this information, see where all your jobs are scheduled by day, and see if there's any opportunity to reschedule jobs to reduce your travel time. For example, up here we see that job G and U are practically in the same neighborhood, but they're on different days. It'd be great if we could reschedule such that the same worker is responsible for these two jobs on the same day. You can knock them off with a minimum of travel. So this is a good time to introduce the clustering feature. If you click on the clustered marker icon at top, it's a box within box. What it does is it clusters jobs that are located very close together and tells you how many are within that cluster. And you can change the cluster size by clicking the up arrow, and it says that we have a cluster radius of 0.9 miles, or the down arrow. So we can change the size of the cluster radius by doing this. You can see that as we click the up arrow, more and more jobs are included within the cluster radiuses, and these circles with the numbers in them increase. And you can restore the default cluster by clicking the right arrow, and turn clustering off by clicking the bottom. So by grouping nearby jobs into these colored circles, clustering helps you to identify opportunities to perhaps reschedule a job or two in order to optimize your crews out in the field, to give them more time to work because they're doing less time traveling between the jobs. So let's move on to some of the remaining selection criteria. Rest of the week, so if we select that, click Update Map, we see the remaining jobs for the week, so from today to Saturday. We can select a particular date, and that gives you a date picker from which you can select a date of interest. Then Update Map. We see that we've had these two jobs at these locations scheduled on that day. We can select a date range, so perhaps let's look at last week's work, beginning and end, update map, and we see all the jobs that were scheduled for last week and where they were located. A couple more interesting views include jobs by town and served customers by town. Let's take a look. Click on jobs by town, and what it does is it gives you a start and an end date. So we're going to look at all jobs in a particular date range. So let's select the 3-week period, update map. And what it does is it shows where all the jobs in that date range were located on a town-by-town basis. And the table below summarizes town by town the number of jobs that were done within that time frame. And this can be an interesting view of your business, something that you might review on a monthly basis. And the customers per town is quite similar. So we select that. Let's select an even larger time frame. Update map. What we're seeing is the number of customers that we served in that time period, town by town, with a summary down below. It's probably dawned on you that this can be a very useful tool to use along with your scheduling. So if you're trying to schedule a new job, say you're on the scheduler, and customer calls, wants you to do some work today, you see an open time slot, you add the job, you select a time, perhaps you're going to do it at, you want to do it at 1:30, and say it's Virgie Hardy that wants you to do the job. So we can save that, jump back to the map. We see this is the one that we just added, Virgie Hardy. We haven't assigned a worker to this job, and that's why it has no color. Now in that same town, on the same day, we have this other job, job D, which we can see down below, Adam White's responsible for doing. So on that same day, we're already there. So obviously we'd like Adam to do this job as well, if at all possible. Okay, so we've decided that Adam's going to do that job. So we open that job, the job we just created. We go to select workers, and we assign Adam to that. Save. Update the map. And now we see that Adam's responsible for both of these jobs. So we hope that you can see that this mapping tool, especially in conjunction with your scheduling, can be a very, very helpful way to optimize your business, to make sure that your workers are spending more time actually working and less time traveling.